Do I have a show for you. Welcome back to another Escaping Fragility show. I'm your host, Colin Stuckert, the Wild CEO. And today we're going to go through some content on Instagram. This is going to be a new style for me. I'm going to be doing this a lot more in the show. I'm going to pick up bits of content. Some of it's going to be evergreen stuff. Some of it's going to be maybe recent news. And I'm going to offer you my unsolicited opinion on these things so that maybe you can get some insight or comedic value or even productive outrage at some of the nonsensities that are going on in 2020. Nonsensities? I don't think it's a word, but I just made it up, so that's fine. Now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're going to have to go to YouTube to get the visuals. I'm going to do my best to explain what's going on in the pictures, and I will also have links to everything in the show notes. So the best place, of course, for a video like this is YouTube, but I will offer my opinion. So if you're driving or hiking or whatever, and you want to hear what I have to say on this, then you'll still get some benefit out of that. So this first post popped up from Donald Trump Jr. I don't really care if you like or don't like somebody. I will tell you though, I think Donald Trump Jr. is really funny. I've only recently been paying attention to the Donald Trump Sr. because I didn't really pay attention to politics. And imperfect creatures, all humans are, but at least he does stand for certain freedoms that America was built on, whereas the left is trying to destroy America, which we're gonna talk about that a little bit today. And there is some bias, there's likability bias, the horn effect, the halo effect, in which people have a hard time accepting the benefits or the good things that people do if they don't like the person. This is a major failing of the human mind. It's why politics are so divisive. It's why the left or the right can never meet in the middle. That's where the truth almost always is. And so whether you like them, hate them or not, that's a bias. And if something they say or did that has merit and you can't see the merit in that, then you are as blind as a freaking bat. And I'm pretty sure bats are blind. Yes. Donald Trump Jr. posted this post. Picture of Ilhan Omar, who's a Democrat. She wears the burqa thing over her, over her head, or I forgot what that's called. And she's, I guess, Middle Eastern. She is very anti-American. It's amazing that we have actual politicians that have been elected to office that want to tear down America. It's quite literally preposterous and hypocritical. But she did this recent speech where she talked about 9/11, saying some people did something. And this is the quote I keep saying. I don't really know what the context is of it. You can watch the quote, but it's basically her typical fear-mongering, divisiveness, tear down America nonsense. And my understanding is that she was using 9/11 to basically say, look, we did things and somebody responded or whatever, and almost as not necessarily saying we deserved it, but pretty bad idea in general. This is what these people do. They stoke political divide and divisiveness. They stoke us versus them, haves, nots. They talk about stealing from the rich and giving to the poor and all this nonsense. They basically want socialism, which is then a pathway to communism and is a pathway to true, full, totalitarian 1984 Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451 nonsense. Okay? These people are the enemy of America. The fact that she holds an elective office, I hope people are going to wake up to this and vote her out, because this is absolutely asinine that there are so many of these people like AOC and her that are trying to tear down America and what made it great. Now, if you enjoy your way of life and your freedoms and you want your kids to grow up with that as well, you have to fight and resist back to these people. This is utterly preposterous. And I don't have faith that we're going to get through this unscathed, which is why I've already made plans to leave the country if I have to and take my family with me. Now, a lot of you won't have that option. I would say at least have your passport. Maybe go somewhere like Philippines where the dollar goes a long way, or hop around for a bit and let America kind of figure its crap out. I could see this happening in the next few years. I could see America becoming a very dangerous, divisive place. We could even be leading ourselves to civil war. This picture of her superimposed over the destruction of 9/11, where it looks like the first responders are there, and it's a picture of her face over it. And, and then his caption is, yet another reason why we need to vote and get real Donald Trump another term, 4 more years. The left hates America. They don't even pretend anymore. It is unfortunately true. A lot of these talking heads of the left are appealing to the young, liberal, brainwashed public and private education professors in school and quite literally indoctrinated younger generation that don't know anything. There's people that are protesting. I watched a video last night protesting for Ben Shapiro to come, who in my opinion is not controversial at all. He just kind of states facts. And half the people there couldn't even explain what they were protesting about. Half the people were there just because maybe their friends went there or they were there and they have no idea. And so they're holding up signs about equality and this and that, and I'm for Palestine or whatever, because Ben Shapiro has, I guess, opinions on that. It's really startling to see so much of this happening on college campuses and the liberal leanings of the professors. The fact that students on campuses, conservative students, you see this all the time, their voices are stifled. Professors, other students, groups, conservatives continually run into oppression, and I would even say prejudice because of their beliefs. Now, last time I checked, America was founded on freedom of speech. We were supposed to embrace the sharing of ideas. We were supposed to embrace the fact that we could have other sides so we could come to the middle. But America has become, through the internet and through a lot of really bad, crazy ideas, we're going the way of other countries have gone, whether that is Mao's China, whether that is Stalin and Soviet Union Russia, whether that is Nazi Germany. It's quite hilarious that many of these people that are yelling at people, calling them fascists and racists, are actually acting textbook like fascists, trying to suppress freedom of speech, trying to cancel and shut down people that have different ideas, and trying to control the narrative, which is basically controlling the propaganda that everybody sees. This is fascism 101. It is appalling. It is, in some ways, funny, but in a sad way, that the human mind so easily succumbs to its own BS. It's why there's been countless books written on psychology and confirmation bias and cognitive bias and heuristics and all these things that our species so easily succumbs to as a result of our evolutionary past. And even that itself, biology is now being contested because it is somehow prejudiced or racist or sexist. There's now no such thing as just men and women. There's a bunch of other things that people make up. There's basically, if anybody decides they want to be something or say something, then that's supposed to be the way it is. I guess we don't pay attention to whether people are mentally stable or not. We don't pay attention to data, to facts. We've become an emotional, fragile PC culture that is quite literally headed for ruin. This is one example. This is one person. This is one comment of many that you see with these people that hate America. Now, not everyone on the left hates America. I would even probably say most of the left doesn't hate America, and a lot of them think they are doing what's right for America. But you go further left, and there's a lot of Marxists and socialists and people like that do hate America, and that they think they can build a better system. Just like every other socialist or communist or Marxist in the history of mankind thought that he or she, I mean, mostly he in history, thought that they could make a better system. And then they did. And then lots and lots and lots of people died. We're talking millions and millions of people died. And then the new younger generation didn't have to live through it. So they think they have it figured out and they think that they can do it. And as Naval said, he put this very succinctly. When you're young, you're a socialist in your heart because you want equality for everyone and fairness. And this is built into our species. But then as you get older, you realize that you have to be a capitalist and you have to be controlled by your mind because socialism in practice with humans that are fallible doesn't work, and it never will work. Therefore, we need to have people that pursue entrepreneurship. We need to protect personal property, and we need to get back to self-reliance and to each his own or her own. People need to take responsibility for life instead of yelling, kicking, and screaming at people trying to tell them to take responsibility for life. So if you love America and the way life you have or have had, you must resist this kind of garbage. And you see it a lot on the left. Doesn't mean there's not enemies on the right, sure. Yeah, far right, I guess you could say there's white supremacists and things like that. Resist that as well, because that's obviously nonsense. You gotta come to the middle. And what I've been saying is the left is becoming so far deranged in its leftness that it doesn't know what its middle is. It's lost its center, as they say. So while I was gonna do other pieces of content, this video, this idea is good enough. Stick around for the next show and I will cover more content. This content obviously deserved its own treatment. So like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one.